everybody. The Tri-State Sports Guys. I'm O. This is Mike.
Turn my phone off.
Tony D. Not here.
He likes to take. He built up his vacation time, which was smart of him to do. He built it up and he took it around the holidays. What do you want? You know, you can't fault him for it. We have a very generous PTO program here.
Yep.
TSG.
Mike T behind the ones and twos. Depressed Mike T. He's a little flustered today. The Raiders are, as I predicted, coming back to earth. I'm just glad to have. Thanks for having me on the show. Apparently, you tried to knock me off in the past couple weeks.
It really came from the fans. The fans loved Coach Ireland, and I fought for you as always. I got you back.
Oh yeah,
on
as
this
always.
Show. As always. I said, look, O's my guy.
Listen, Coach Ireland did a great job. He did a great job he did a better job here than I could have done replacing him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you were head coach of the Bears, what's that score against Xavier?
Well,
we're looking at 70 spot.
This.
Come on.
We probably give up a lot of points.
We're staring down the barrel of a
70
spot.
Here's the difference between me and Coach Ireland.
Everything?
I would not have allowed. I would not have been happy with that other coach. Coach Ireland took the high road. Didn't want to complain about the other team running the score up.
Yeah.
That would have been a big problem with me. I told you that was a big problem with me. All the credit in the world to him. He's a leader of young men. The future. I am not a leader of young men. At least not in the winter.
I would have been mad. There was one play where the North, we were down 41-14 and they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. It was like a 4th and 10. I mean, the game, it was. Yeah. And the coach from the other team did a 180, spun around, and gave a first down the other way. There. And I was like, I mean, that's just an embarrassment.
That's the type of thing that
to being a human being.
Shaking hands, I would have said something to him.
I would have said, you know what? At the end of the day, you're still a Jack.
Like I said, he's better.
He's
a better man than I am.
I would have given him a little something.
Let's get into the NFL.
We've already talked about the Raiders. Can we just start with the Raiders?
All right.
Can you? You do not want to admit that the Carson Palmer trade is a bust. It is a bust.
Hold on. Before we get into Carson Palmer. This year, 2011, there's a lot that's gone on in my life.
Yeah, you've had a big day, yeah. The show.
The things I'm most proud of, all right, there are two things. I didn't buy into the Mets all year when you sat here and you tried to get me into them.
I did. I tried my damnedest.
And I didn't buy into the Raiders when Mike T, in a break, went through the schedule.
He had 11-5.
He went through the schedule. Win, loss, win. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of it because here we are. And the Raiders are staring at 8-8 right in the face, which I could have told you in 2009.
They're staring at a third-place finish in that division because the Chargers are charging.
No pun intended. As for Carson Palmer, as I told you, I like the fact they got him. No matter what he did, I thought they paid too much because
that's what I'm saying. Necessary.
But I like the fact they got him. Now that being said, he has regressed. You were all over him because he had 6 interceptions in the first 4 quarters that he played, or 6 quarters that he played.
Yeah.
I
4 last week.
That's what I'm saying. He then got better as the team started playing, and now he was throwing interceptions that I would throw like in a game that I just didn't want to get tackled.
Yeah,
like,
right.
There's a guy, I'm just going to throw it. Right, so he was playing awful. This goes back to what I told you when they first got him. I think Hugh Jackson still thinks it's like 2007. He's like, Carson Palmer's great.
Yeah, right.
He's not good.
He hasn't been great in a while. Yeah. And now you're going to look at next year. They're committed to starting him, and I know you were never a huge Jason Campbell fan, but I think that I
liked him. He managed the
game. Their offense ran better with him there because he didn't. Nobody had this preconceived notion that they were going to be this.
There were a lot of things going against them. Number one, no Darren McFadden, who even though Michael Bush does a nice job, Darren McFadden's electric. Darren McFadden, I wrote this in my notes. You didn't bring it up last week. He is Jose Reyes. Yeah. So it's annoying that I had to deal with both of them in sports.
You're right.
And their wide receiving core, which was not like there are no names, they were playing well early on. Denarius Moore, Jacoby Ford, Moore especially. And these guys are all hurt. So all of a sudden you got this quarterback who's rusty, and the third and fourth best wide receivers. Darius Abreu number 1.
Right.
That's all
and he's very bad. But
and their defense is always
when you
awful.
pay that kind of money, you're looking for a guy who could overcome that kind of thing.
No doubt. 8-8 right in the face.
Right.
If that.
Right.
Let me say that.
Right. And I believe, and we talked about, Tony's a big Bills fan, and I'm not gonna say I was a huge believer in the Bills. But I wasn't going to be as surprised. Like, Tony was like, no shot. He was completely right. But I said, they could win 8-9 games this year. He was right about that. The Raiders, I legitimately thought were for real.
Both of you guys tried to bring me down, and I would not allow it. No. For that, I'm proud of myself.
You are.
You always say I'm negative? Negative help.
You surely are negative because you did not believe in it for one moment.
Now, let's move on. Speaking of negative, you were negative on a guy named Eli Manning.
Yes.
I gotta give a shit. My boy Danny Mara. Now, granted, he is the most biased. He claims he's not biased, which is unbelievable because his family literally owns the Giants.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not biased.
But he claims he's not biased. But he told me before the year, he's like, I'm telling you, Eli Manning is gonna be like a top 5 quarterback. And I'm like, you know what, Danny? I can't have this conversation with you. And we're looking at this guy is going to get MVP votes. This guy is playing out of his mind.
I am the most surprising quarterback of the year is clearly Tebow. To me, the second most surprising performance for a season is Eli. And because Eli, and I've been saying it all season, I mean, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I mean, I still don't think that, like, when we talk about top 10, top 5, I mean, I think going forward, he's having a great season. I don't know that I'm going to put him over Big Ben or anything.
Well, you're not putting him over Big Ben, but think about it. Who's better than him? You put him 5th.
I'd put him 5th this season, yeah.
Yeah, there's not many. The guys that we were talking about, Mount Ryan, Josh Freeman, those guys,
right.
Flacco, those guys aren't better than him.
Not even close.
The thing that Eli has always done well, before this year and obviously including this year, he's a rich man's Mark Sanchez in the fourth quarter. He's unbelievable in the fourth quarter.
He is very.
And now he has weapons.
He makes passes, too, which I'm telling you, he did not make them before this year.
Yeah, he made a pass to Cruz the other night, and I'm like, there's no way. I thought he was throwing it away.
He made a pass on a deep out to Hicks.
Oh, it was Hicks. That's the same pass. It looked like he was throwing off his back foot, and he was throwing it.
To Akeem Nicks, he threw off his back foot, a deep out that he dropped over. I mean, when you watch the replay, it looks like the guy was covered.
Yeah.
You really couldn't have made, I think that pass a couple years ago was picked by Eli, and now he's able to make that. I mean, he couldn't have put it in a better spot.
When he threw it, I thought he was just throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, right. When you're watching it live, you think he's throwing it out.
And the Giants' defense is not playing well. You can give me all the reasons you want injuries, which some of them are true, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Some of them are overblown, I should say. But it seems like they need every pass that he completes. I mean, Romo, you literally saw the difference. Romo and Eli match each other pass for pass, and at the end of the day, Romo just makes one less play. It's the story of Romo's.
The guy lost the ball in the lights or whatever it was.
It's a story of Romo's career, unfortunately. It's always
Romo's
one
been
play
so
short.
good. I mean, when you look at what he's done the last 3 weeks, every time they've asked him to drive down the field, he drives down the field.
But I work with like 2 or 3 big Cowboy fans, and it's amazing. No one likes him.
It's amazing. I know.
They all blame him. They blame him for everything. They blame him for this. They blame him for the missed field goal. They blame him for not.
If you want to put, so we're going to put Eli 5. Romo's in the top 8. Maybe 6.
No doubt.
You could put him 6.
My point is, it's amazing. I'll tell you what. I was driving in today, and I heard somebody call up and say they think Eli Manning is now a surefire Hall of Famer.
Oh, and Evan Roberts said he thought.
I heard on ESPN radio. Said
Evan Roberts said earlier today, because they were talking about it, like, I think you're right. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Think about where we were a year ago.
But I don't think he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
But my point, the fact that
you can't be a surefire Hall of Famer.
The fact that he's even getting one discussion, it's unbelievable where we've come.
Right.
The Giants, they've won the games they need to win. They're playing the Redskins. I'm not a buyer. I don't care that the Redskins almost beat the Patriots. Patriots don't play any defense.
No, but I think the Redskins are decent, though.
They're all right, but I don't know.
They play good defense. They get to the quarterback, which is one thing that I think worries me about this week for the Giants. And I'm rooting for the Giants this week because I really want.
You want the Jet game to matter.
And I think at this point, it's going to matter no matter what. Even if both teams lose or one team loses.
Yep.
Because if one team loses, then the other team has a chance to really just end their season. But I want them both to win, so that game is really a big time game. You know what I mean? But I'm I think it's a 7-point spread, 7.5-point spread for the Giants.
Okay.
And the pass rush for the Redskins is very good.
And the Giants pass rush is non-existent.
It's non-existent
except for one guy.
And it's what's weird too. You watch him. And it seems like Perry Fuel doesn't blitz. It's almost like he's so used to being able to get so much pressure with 4. He doesn't think outside the box and say, well, I'm not getting there with 4.
Exactly.
I got to send guys.
That's why I never understand why people don't adjust. Like, I understand that your team is built to rush the pass.
Right.
But when they're not, then adjust.
Right.
Bring somebody else.
But do you get that same sense? I mean, they're not getting there.
Agree.
You don't see them
they
sending
never
guys.
Blitz.
No.
They never blitz.
So maybe I'm missing something. I mean, I don't know. I know they're young at the linebacker spot, but I think you got to send some guys. I don't know.
It'll help their D-backs, because the D-backs aren't good either. So we'll see what happens. I personally think the Giants are going to win. The Giants tend to win. They are a well-coached team, even though I'm not a big Coughlin guy. They tend to win the games they have to win, and then they lose games that you don't expect them to lose. So I would guess they're going to win this week.
I don't think they're going to cover. I think this is going to be a hard-fought battle, and I could see them losing this game.
Interesting.
I could see them losing. If I were to bet on it, I would bet on the Giants to win, Redskins to cover. I mean, there's really not much to go over with the Jets for this past week.
They do what they need to do.
You can't take anything really. I mean, they held the Chiefs to 4 yards in the first half. I was at the game.
Chiefs are awful.
The Chiefs
my number one guy to be fired. He got fired within like 5 hours.
That's why I think it's a more interesting talk than to go over the Jets. You know, I think let's talk about the guys that have gotten fired. So we got Haley.
And apparently, I told you he was my number one guy to be fired.
I know, and I'm a little surprised. I mean, he took him to the playoffs last year. They started 0-3, then they rattled off 4 wins.
Then I heard the GM doesn't like him.
The GM doesn't like him, hates him.
What does he hate about him?
I don't know, because he's not his guy. He's an ex-Patriot, Pioli. I mean,
yeah, but we see the coach before. I guess he's the coach before the GM got there.
So, you know, he hated him. I don't think he's a great coach, but I was surprised that they didn't let him.
His quarterback and his running back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's huge. He lost the number
and his safety.
Yeah, right, and who's their first round pick from a year ago.
He lost his 3
Jamal
players.
Charles led the league in rushing, or was up there in the league in rushing, and then they got Matt Castle's a legitimate quarterback. They lost him. They got a quarterback out there that literally shouldn't be playing the UFL.
You're right. That's a guy, Tyler Palko. A guy like that gets fired. That was a GM just waiting for any excuse.
Right.
And he found 5 yards in the first half. You're out of here.
Now, Tony Sperano.
He knew he was gone.
You knew he was gone, and they were
coach.
literally the only thing that was keeping him alive was this crazy little win streak they put together.
Awful coach.
But they were just waiting. He is a bad coach because that team has talent. That defense is good. That team has some talent.
Quarterback is not good though.
I don't think Matt Moore's bad though.
He's not bad.
He's not bad, but he's not great. But he's a solid quarterback. You can win games with him. They should have been better than they were.
I'm just surprised they get Reggie Bush, they pay him all this money, and then they don't give him the ball early on.
Well, I know early on they didn't give him the ball. That's what I mean. He should have been gone.
Yeah.
Del Rio, I think of the 3, I think the bigger question of the 3, are any of those guys going to get head coaching jobs again? I think Jack Del Rio will get a head coaching job. I don't think the other 2 will. And I don't think that's a knock on him.
I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be Del Rio. I don't know.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will?
Del Rio had been there for a while, though.
Yeah, but they were a perennial playoff team for a while.
Maybe he'd get a job like next year. I don't think
he'll be a next year guy. He'll get a coordinator position.
I don't think his next job will be.
But I don't think we talk about Norv Turner, who we think he's going to be gone,
yeah.
And there are some guys who are just better suited to be a coordinator. You look at Wade Phillips this year. I mean, Wade Phillips was a terrible head coach. I don't care what anybody says.
He got sick today, by the way.
Yeah, he's out. He said some sort of I don't know what it is, but you look at what he's done with the defense over in Houston.
Absolutely.
They're top 1, 2, 3 defense in the league, and that was their one weakness.
Some
guys can just do it, right?
So
you take Norv Turner and you make him another coordinator after he gets fired. He'll be fine. Maybe some of these guys the same thing. I just think of those 3 guys, Jack Del Rio maybe, but I wouldn't want any of them coaching. The Jets if Rex Ryan gets fired. I don't. You get your one shot, they ain't gonna make it, and the next, in 2.
Speaking of fired,
yeah,
Rob Ryan needs to be fired. He's an awful.
What
does he do? What does he do besides
he's got a last name
long
right.
and
he's
throw
terrible
his clipboard?
Because their front 7 is legit. You have a pass rusher like DeMarcus Ware, and then some other. They have a solid defensive line. They got that kid Lee, that linebacker who's very talented.
They say their D-backs are all hurt, but I mean, come on, They don't even have a right scheme. We talked about when they
I
played
don't
the
give me
Patriots.
the D-back because Brandon Jacobs ran all over him.
Exactly.
They'll give me anything. He's terrible. The only thing he's got is his last name, because he's not any good.
He's got his hair.
Well, I like the way he looks, but he's terrible. He wasn't good for the Browns. It's not like he had this big pedigree. Like he has a great last name.
I don't know.
So
he'll be fired. He'll be on the Jets staff next year.
He will be. He'll be something.
Well, I just want to talk about baseball. It's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah, we'll get into some baseball. Why not?
When we come back, let's talk about some baseball. We'll be back with the Tri-State Sports Guys.